go ahead. Check out my Aspen premium format figure from SIDESHOW Collectibles. That's what we're reviewing today. It's a good view. Another extreme collectible here, one I've actually had for a few years. I pre-ordered Aspen from SIDESHOW Collectibles probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I've always had her in the collection here at my office in the fantasy theme. She actually pairs really well with an Ifrit, a fire god, because as you can see, she's got some water stuff going on. And if you're like me, you're not very familiar with who Aspen is. So this is Aspen Matthews. She's actually from the comic Fathom, which I've never read. I just bought her because I had the Ifrit fire god and I thought she'd pair really well with him. So Aspen is a marine biologist. She's part of a breed of people called the Blue. I don't know what that means. And I just bought her because she looked really badass, and like I said, she would pair so well together. I've had her for a number of years. This is the exclusive, again, made by SIDESHOW Collectibles. They call it their premium format, which is just a fancy way to say it's a 1/4 scale figure. And despite my lack of knowledge of her, I really appreciate this statue for what it is. There's some really cool stuff going on that we're going to look at in an in-depth review today. But before we look at that review, go ahead and check out this statue giveaway. We are going to hit 20,000 subscribers in 2020. To do that, we're giving away a statue every 2,500 subs. At 15,000 subs, the winner will get to choose between these two PCS Mortal Kombat statues. Make sure that you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification. Then stay tuned towards the end of this video to find out how to enter. So Aspen originally retailed for right around $550. They made two versions of her. One is the exclusive, which is what this is, and then one is the collector's version. We'll talk all about that in design. They made 3,000 of these, 1,000 of the exclusive and 2,000 of the collector's version. But the reason why I got her, it was the concept of this piece, which is phenomenal. And it really talks about like a water goddess, and I'm really big into comic characters that control elements, and then just fantasy in general, and that's what she does. So let's take a look. They have a Black Museum sub base, and I don't like these. I always wish that there was no Black Museum sub bases. I understand it's meant to make the piece more of a fancy piece of art, but I wish it was all water. Like if you move up here, you have the water just wrapping around her, because that's what she can do. That's her power. She can create tsunamis, or salamis, as my youngest kid calls them. She can manipulate the water however she sees fit. Very abyss alien-like creatures. Some of you will get that reference. And this water looks fantastic. We'll look at it close during the paint and sculpt. And as you move up, you see her feet. She is actually partially water, which is what's really cool about her. You're going to see that in the exclusive hand switch out as well. So her feet are water, and then she turns into a real person, and she is ordained with clothing from the sea, whether it's shells or laces. There's a tiny bit of mixed media on this, but the rest is actually sculpted. So she is definitely a creature of the sea, and she is there in a very serious pose, showing her power, very beautiful, very sultry. I usually don't like statues that have this type of what I'd call sex appeal, but I made an exception with this one simply because I thought it would fit really well with the collection, and I think everything is done very beautifully. And as you move up, she's flowing in the wind. She could be in the middle of the ocean. Who knows what she's doing? But I just think it looks fantastic. It's kind of an underrated piece that a lot of people don't get, even though they made an edition size of 3,000 and they're sold out, because I don't think she's that popular in the normal pop culture world. There could be a huge following for Fathom that I'm just unaware of. So the concept is why I bought this piece, and I think the concept's fantastic. Like I said, I could do without the Black Museum's sub base, but tons of people actually like that. So I'm not going to knock them for that. I love what they did with the water, with her clothing flowing in the wind, that she's partially water. I think it's a 5 out of 5 on the concept. Even that's with me not knowing the source material very well at all. Design, I got to give them a lot of props as well. It's been so long since I assembled her, but I can tell you that I believe her head is a separate piece. It is. This arm is a separate piece because it's the exclusive we're going to look at. And then she keys in as well. And then some of the waves actually key into each other, like that right there. One of my waves is broken. You can't actually tell, but it's right here. I just need to glue it back on. It was a clean break. It was my fault. But let's look at the two switch out options. So first, she can have a normal hand to her right side. All 3,000 statues actually come with this. Or she can have the exclusive hand, which to me this was an exclusive or bust, where it's transforming into water, this translucent resin, just like her legs. We'll measure her really quick. I like she doesn't take up a lot of space. The diameter of this sub base is about 7 inches, so that's it. It does stick out a little more with the waves here, maybe another inch or two. And her height is right under 22 inches, so not bad at all. Design, very simple. All this is made out of resin here on the bottom, so it is decently easily breakable, as I have experienced, obviously. I don't think you need to switch out head. I think this expression is perfect, so I like the fact there was a little Easter egg with the exclusive. So honestly, the design, I think it's good, but it's not amazing because it's not super elaborate, but they did some cool stuff here. Design 4 out of 5 on this piece because simply I really like what they did with the waves at the bottom, which we're going to see as we dive into the paint and sculpt on here. As we zoom on in this video, I don't get to dust the statues very often here in the office, so you will see a little bit of dust, but check it out. Let's zoom in on her and take a look. Again, Black Museum sub base, that's where you see a lot of the dirt. I need to clean this. I love the water effect. The dark blue at the bottom, I'm not a huge fan of, but it flows well with the rest of it as it becomes more and more translucent. Then they kind of have that frost on the tips to kind of give it that wave effect. Looks really good, really impressed by that. Then check out her transparent legs and feet here, looks awesome. They actually showed, I think it was at a Comic-Con, an entirely transparent statue, which was kind of just a prototype they were looking at doing. I would actually consider buying that. Now I want to look at her skin first. There's no blemishes on her skin. Not really a lot of musculature, but you typically don't see that in a female anatomy. And on here, like, you do see a little bit of the abs, which is nice. Her breasts just popping out. And there's a little bit of variation in the color, really just around her torso. See that pink that's in there? You don't see as much on her legs. But they did a nice job. The shells or whatever that makes up her outfit here, I wish that would have been a little more detailed. Maybe some texture would have helped on that. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look amazing. Here's the mixed media. This right here with some shells, nice touch. Here's the ass shot if you missed it in the beginning. A little bit of casting issue right there in the crack, you can see. Check out her hair. I like the flow of it. It looks good. They could have done a little more differentiation in the strands. I say that a lot when we're looking at hair. I like how there's a few pieces sticking out. Here's the translucent hand. I actually kept the regular version, the regular hand in the box. That's why you saw a stock photo, because this was a no-brainer for me. Cool detailed necklace right there. Her expression is awesome. Very angelic-like, beautiful-like. The makeup, the eyes, a lot of detail in that. It looks good. They did a nice job. So with the paint and the sculpt, a lot of things going on that are, hey, that's really solid, but it's nothing that's going to blow your mind. Other than, I'd say, some of the water. I think the water is fabulous. And then she's very solid from top to bottom. So I love the paint a lot more on the base than I do her. It's still good on her, but I don't think it's amazing. So let's start off with the paint. I think the paint's a 3 out of 5, which is still a good score. When you spend $500 on a statue, you expect it to be at least average or good. That's why 3 out of 5 is still good. Sculpt, again, kind of the same things. I wish there was a little bit more detail in some of the sculpted parts of her outfit, but I think the sculpt is also a solid 3 out of 5. It's almost a 4 out of 5, but at any time I'm in between 2 grades, I tend to go with the lower. Value, it's all sold out, so I don't know what you can get this for anymore, but like I said, $550, $3,000 edition size, 1/4 scale. That's kind of right in the middle. Not bad at all. I don't think I'd pay more for her, but if I had ties to the character, I may pay more. But does this statue have the X factor? Is it a wow? You know, some people might give it a wow simply because of the sexy, sultry part of it. I think it's very impressive. I don't think it's a 5 out of 5 though. I don't hesitate giving this a 4 out of 5 though. Solid sculpt, solid paint, awesome concept. And like I said, depending on how you're pairing it in your collection, it really pairs well with the Ifrit statue that I'm going to review. Today's comment, I want you to comment below which piece do you have that you know very little about the origins, but you just bought it because it would look really good with another piece. And the reason I asked you to comment is it'll help you win that contest. To win one of these Mortal Kombat statues, all you have to do is comment on a video. At 15,000 subscribers, I'm going to pick a random video and pick a random comment. That person will win the prize. They can choose between these two pieces. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But that's all I got for today. If you want to see that Ifrit Fire God, make sure to hit that Mr. X logo and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, check out some of these other awesome statues from SIDESHOW Collectibles. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.